Hello, my name is Selena.
And my name's Theoni, and you are listening to Piping Hot.
Welcome to another episode. I am excited to record today's podcast.
I'm excited to record too. I know Selena and I were chatting about this, and I'm curious. I feel like whenever I say I don't have a lot to say, we end up having a lot to say because we feed off of each other. So I think it'll be very interesting to see. I feel like we'll probably end up having a lot of the same points. Actually.
I think so too. I have a couple of questions for you in my notes. So I'm really intrigued to hear your thoughts today.
I know, me too. How has your week been?
It's been good. It's been really good. I am super excited that summer's here. I'm fine with the heat. I guess I would rather have heat than snow. So I'm okay with that, but it's just really nice to get out and go for a walk and not be freezing, and then go to the park and just be outside. So I've been really happy with that.
No, I know. I feel very much the same way. I feel like it's easy for me when I have not a lot going on to just stay inside and read or watch Netflix or just do something to relax.
Yeah.
But my roommate and I the other day, we went to this place in Boston called Castle Island. It's this thing right along the ocean, and we just went for a walk and we had our little Celsiuses, a hot girl walk, and it was just really, really nice to walk by the ocean, and it was really pretty. And so I've been trying to do stuff like that just to get some fresh air,
Yeah, no, I agree. And I feel the past 2 summers I've been a hermit, not because of my choice, but because of COVID and stuff, and just different waves coming through and stuff. But this summer I'm you know what? It's been 2 summers without doing anything fun. I feel like I need to get out and actually do something before winter comes again.
No, 100%. This is the summer to do all the things, I think, because we're finally out of COVID. Ish. Yeah. And things are open up, so we all deserve to have fun and just do all the things we've been wanting to do,
Yes, definitely. Another thing too is that I got a haircut, and I got wispy bangs.
Selena's wearing her bangs. She looks so cute. Look at her.
I was so nervous because I was I don't know if I can work bangs. I've never had bangs.
Well, here's the thing for you guys listening. When we were talking about Selena's haircut, she told me that she was going to get maybe some shorter curtain bangs thing. And then I FaceTimed her the other day, and she had straight across. I was like, girl, what? So what made you decide to do the wispy straight across vibe?
I don't know. I think it's also summer is coming, and I'm married now, so it's I need a new look. I need a new refresh. I was okay, let's do some bangs, but not full on bangs, because I feel that's too much of a commitment, and I'm still ooh, I don't know if it will look good on me. I was just really nervous. Sure. And so I told my stylist that, and she's okay, let's just try a little bit first and see if we want to add more, so we can kind of tweak it to whatever you like. And she did this, and I was this is perfect, don't do any more.
No, I love the wispy vibe because it gives it shape, but it's not super heavy. I feel it really fits your face.
Thank you. I really do like it. I was surprised how much I liked it at first. So I'm okay, this is a vibe.
Okay, I feel maybe this is different for wispy bangs, but obviously I have my straight across bangs.
Yeah.
I'm growing them out now. The only reason I'm growing them out, because I love them too, is as soon as I walk outside, they're done. They get so messed up. They go all over the place, and then I have to be constantly fixing them, and that I can't deal with. I like styling them, but I can't deal with that. Is it like that with wispy bangs, or is it a little easier because they're wispy?
A little bit. I put hairspray in it, and it's just a couple of pieces. They're thin pieces. It's not a thick kind of bang. So I mean, sometimes it stays in place, but definitely if it's windy or I'm walking against the wind, I can feel it part. But then I can just fix it.
Every time my stupid bangs would part, I'm oh my gosh, I look like Dwight. I don't need this situation. No, literally the way they split, I was I look like such a dweeb. I'm not, I don't need that. So, what are you drinking today?
I am drinking peach Bellini tea. I looked today.
It is Fellini. Aha.
I looked today. And it is peach Fellini. But yeah, no, again, with the whole summer vibe, I just wanted something like fruity. It was a little rainy this morning, but now the sun finally came out. So I was like, yeah, I definitely want something a bit sweeter. So
Sure.
I'm having that. What about you?
I am drinking my pink chai that I've had quite a few times before, but it just sounded good to me because I feel like I've been doing the stress relief, the positive energy, and the green tea like a lot. So I was like, I need a little break. And I just, I don't know. This one is just very calming and cozy. So
nice.
Felt very fitting for my chill day today.
Yes. How was your week? How are you doing?
It was good. I mean, I think it was really, really busy. And any downtime that I did have, I was reading, as you know. So for those of you listening, I am currently reading the Throne of Glass series and by Sarah J. Maas, and I am obsessed, to say the least. I've been sending Selena in it exorbitant amounts of like voice memos, because like I literally will squeal and just like start like cursing because I can't handle all of the emotions this book or these books make me feel, and I've been blasting through them. So I started reading the first Throne of Glass book on Wednesday. Now it's Monday that we're recording, and I have read Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and I'm 100 pages away from being done with Heir of Fire. So I've pretty much finished. Yeah, it's insane how much I've been reading. I think it helps that I can read on my job that I have on the weekends. I got a lot done during that, but yeah, I haven't been sleeping well because I've been reading. So there we go.
I can't believe you just started that Wednesday. Holy crap.
Right? I've been on a trip. It's been a lot. Yeah.
Well, because you finished Throne of Glass and Assassin's Blade and Crown of Midnight probably in like less than a day-ish, or a day and a half. Like it was really fast for those books.
It's got to be like 2.5 days. There's no way I read all 3 of those in a day and a half.
No, like each book you got
I was like, girl, I mean, I know I read fast, but I don't think I read that fast. Like that would actually be like psychotic.
Insane.
Like,
yeah. Wait, have you seen on TikTok, on Book Talk, have you seen people do the 24-hour challenge, like book reading challenge?
No.
Where they like pick out 6 books and they try to read it within a 24-hour
6
time
books?
frame. Yes.
Wait, is that even possible?
I will have to send you some because these people fly. And I was like, wait a second. How do you even like comprehend what you're reading at that point? Because they stay up for the 24 hours and they just read and read.
I could never.
I know.
Is there enjoyment? Like, do they enjoy themselves? Or are they literally just reading? That's so interesting though.
Yeah.
Why do I kind of want to do it?
Let's do it.
Should we?
I'd be down. I would only have to do contemporary romances though, because fantasy would be too heavy for me.
Oh, 100%. I would need something a little more mindless, I feel like.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
Let's
gosh.
do it.
That's intense. Okay, we're doing it. We're doing the 24-hour reading challenge. Oh, shoot. Anyways, what pop culture moments do you have?
Yes. I only have a couple. Like they're not.
Me too.
They're not too crazy, but my first one is, I'm not sure if you're like a big Star Wars fan, but the new Obi-Wan Kenobi show premiered on Disney Plus.
Have you started it?
Yes. So they released 2 episodes last Friday, and then now each Friday they're going to release one. But me and Jack have already watched the first 2 episodes, and I have to say they were like really good.
Yay!
I was very impressed because I don't know, I feel like reboots, or not reboots, but like an extension of a certain character from a bigger universe is always a hit or miss.
Totally.
So I was a little nervous, but I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, holy crap, they did so good. They did so good.
And this is the one with Ewan McGregor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Hayden Christensen came back for it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not a big Star Wars person. I think I've maybe only seen like the OG 3.
Yeah.
No, maybe I've seen the original 6. I don't really know. I don't really remember because it was a very, very long time ago.
Yeah.
But I know people were very, very excited for it. And I know that, like, it's about Obi-Wan Kenobi, right?
Yes.
And he's, like, a very beloved character. So I totally see what you're saying about, like, you want the show to do it justice, because otherwise it's like, why would you do that? Because it risks ruining the character for people, right? So
Exactly. And that's why I was a little nervous, because I feel like his character and his impact to the universe was so huge. Like, he's still very beloved, and so I was very nervous if this show would ruin his reputation or what he means to the fans.
Sure.
But I have a feeling that they like nailed this one, and I'm so excited to keep watching.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, next one. A little late, but there was another trailer for Thor Love and Thunder that came out, like, I think last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And I literally just watched it this morning because I was like, oh, there's another trailer. I'm intrigued to see what happens, because I thought it took place in a separate universe, but it looks like it might be the same. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm not piecing the trailer well together in my mind, but I don't know, I just feel very confused.
Well, what made you think it was in a different universe?
Because of Jane. I thought she was Thor in a different universe, but then in the trailer they're like, oh, like, I've missed you or whatever, and like, oh no, or you've changed a lot is what Thor says, and Jane says, what, it's only been like 4 years or whatever. So I'm like, wait a second,
Well,
it's like the same, it's the same Jane, right? It wouldn't be a different Jane.
I think it is the same Jane, because, I mean, people, if you're listening, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think based off of the comics, Jane gets cancer, and some sort of power or something that she gets is what keeps her alive, which is why she keeps the armor on all of the time. Like, something about the magic in the armor keeps her alive or stops the cancer from progressing or something. And so I think that's how that happens. I could be way off, but I think that's what I read.
Wait,
so
but
that
then
could be why.
How does she get the power in the first place, or is the power in the suit? Okay.
Don't know. That's the extent of my knowledge about that.
Because she can wield the hammer. That's what makes me like,
well, maybe she's worthy.
Ugh, okay, I guess.
Not Natalie Portman. I can't with Natalie Portman for no reason at all.
Really.
But I will say, I need this movie to be good. Marvel is like losing its grip on me after Multiverse of Madness, because I just hated it. And I need them to start taking their time with their stuff again. I feel like they're just so focused on getting these TV shows out and getting these movies out and marketing it and all of these things. And I just March of Madness. The heck? March Madness? Nope. Multiverse of Madness for me was such a letdown that this is the next like huge movie, and like I love Thor, so I just really want it to be good. I don't need cameos, I don't need anything fancy, I just need it to be a really solid movie. I don't want it to feel rushed, and I just want it to be good. That's all I want.
I still stand by the fact that they're building to something greater, so I'm okay with all the kind of hits and misses that they've been doing. I will say I think Thor will be good because it's the same director from Thor Ragnarok. And so
I love Taika Waititi. He's amazing. Too. And Korg. My name's Korg.
Hello,
I made
my name's
rocks.
I love it. It's funny to me because he plays Korg. You know that, right? It's so ironic. Like, what
I know. His voice is just so funny. And I love that he's dating Rita Ora. Yes. That's such a random relationship, but I love it.
Yeah. So I am excited because I feel like when Marvel movies have the same directors, there's some really great cohesiveness going through.
Totally.
Which I think you can definitely see through the Captain America movies, because I think the Russo brothers came on for Winter Soldier, and then they did Civil War, and then Marvel and Kevin Feige loved the duo so much that they both did Infinity War and Endgame, which I think were fantastic.
The Russo brothers were fantastic for all the movies they did. Taika Waititi has been amazing with the movies he's done.
Yeah.
I don't need any more of Sam Raimi. I don't need any more of his movies. I don't want watch Marvel to watch a horror movie.
Yeah.
What he was going for, I'm sure was executed perfectly. I just didn't like it. We don't need to go into this again, but anyway.
That episode is a little farther back, so if you want
go back and
hear
watch
those thoughts, All right, okay. Next thing on my list. So this past week-ish, I binged the Kardashians on Hulu, and I am so obsessed.
Isn't it so good for no reason?
I don't know, I think it's like a guilty pleasure that I don't want to admit that like I really enjoyed it, but it was really good.
It's so intriguing. The one thing I will say that I don't like about it, I get that Kravis is in love.
Yeah.
If I have to watch them making out one more time, I'm gonna vomit. Like, enough, y'all.
They are very lovey-dovey to a point where I'm like, I don't need to be a victim of this lovey-dovey stuff, okay? Like, you can be lovey-dovey somewhere else. Like, like to a point, it just got a little too much for me, especially when they were walking through the house. They were looking for a house to buy, and then Courtney straddles
him. Oh my God. I was like, girlfriend, this isn't your couch. This isn't your home.
This is not your home.
That's what I mean when it's too much. You do you. Yeah. If clearly your love languages are like physical touch, like I love that you're in love. Courtney deserves to be happy. Travis deserves to be happy. Love that relationship. Don't need to see that much of it. Thank you.
Yeah. I will say I love Travis. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else. Like I know who he is, but I feel like he has like such a good heart. He is such
Very
a gentleman.
soul. Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I was like, he's absolutely perfect for Courtney. Like, wow. I just love him so much. On the opposite end, Scott needs to shut the F up.
Oh, literally, though. I'm so sick of Scott. I'm sorry.
Me
like,
too.
He's just the victim over and over and over again. Like, at some point, you have to decide if you're going to move on or just wallow. Now's the time, Scott. Are you going to move on or are you going to wallow about it? Because this... making the family feel bad, stop putting them in the middle of it. Like, be done. And I also, the one thing I will say, I don't know why Courtney is so averse to having a conversation with Scott with everything going on.
Yep.
Like,
I don't know why either.
It shouldn't be that big of a deal. I get she doesn't want to deal with it, but like, your kids are involved. Now they're getting your family involved. Like, maybe it would be helpful to just clear the air.
Exactly.
And it shouldn't fall on her, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I was just so annoyed with him because he's just like complaining and being the victim of like, well, am I going to get an invite for Thanksgiving this year or not? Like, you need to chill. And like the fact that you keep bringing this up makes them not want to invite you because you're just going to make a big deal out of it. Like, you can be included, but the way that he's acting about it just pisses me off.
I know, me too. And the thing is, like... here's my therapist brain coming out. Yeah. I just like observing his behavior. There's so much more going on there. Like, he's just, I think, very, very depressed and realizing how much he's lost. Yeah. And like him guilting them into that is his way of just like feeling very lonely, you know? Yes. And so I do feel bad for him in that aspect. Yep. But that's still not an excuse, and he still needs to get his act together.
Yes, I definitely empathize with him of like feeling alone and feeling lonely and not feeling included. Like, I think that's such a bad feeling. Like, I felt that before too, and it's not a feeling that is good, obviously. So a part of me definitely understands why he wants this so much. The way that he's approaching it is pissing me off. Like, that is not 100%. That is not how you offer an olive branch or how you have a discussion of how you still want to be a part of the family. Like, you are still part of the family, but you know, just like the little details and the little intricacies of like these like family barbecues or the birthday parties and stuff. Like, you can talk through it, but not the way that you're doing it right now.
100%. I agree with you.
Yeah. That is it for my pop culture stuff. Do you have any?
I do have a couple, but they're just little tidbits that I want to mention. So the first one, we talked about her and her Red Table Talk interview last episode. Olivia Jade is dating Jacob Elordi.
Yes.
Which I think is such an interesting couple and very, very random. I mean, you know I like her. I just do. Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't love what she did, but I like her. Maybe they're a really cute couple. I don't know. I haven't decided. They're really random, but
they are,
to each their own.
Can you remind me, is Jacob the one who dated Zendaya, right?
He dated Zendaya. He dated Joey King. He dated Kaya Gerber. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Because I remember him with Joey because they did the kissing booth together, right? And then he dated Zendaya, right?
Yes. And then he dated Kaya Gerber.
Okay, got it. Which I always found that so weird. Like, Zendaya, come on, honey. I feel like you're a little better than that.
I think he's not attractive to me, but he's very attractive to me. No. It's very confusing.
No, Theoni, he is a fuckboy. That's why. We already know this. We already know this.
Why do I do that?
I don't know.
I hate it.
I don't know.
I never actually go for that guy. But do I like looking at them? My instinct is to go for that. Yeah. No. It is the time for the nice boys. So
it is.
I'm forcing that out of my brain. Anyways, next pop culture thing. Becca Kufrin and Thomas Jacobs are engaged. For those of you who don't know, Becca Kufrin was on Ari's season of The Bachelor, was then The Bachelorette, and then went on Bachelor in Paradise when she met Thomas Jacobs, who is now her fiance. She's from Minnesota, so we love that. But yeah, she proposed to him, which I think is very, very interesting.
I saw that too. I was like, oh, okay, we're just turning the tables casually. It's 2022. You do you. Can you explain like the history? So they met on Bachelor in Paradise, correct?
Yes. So basically what happened is Becca and Thomas met on Bachelor in Paradise, but there was a little drama because coming off of his season, Thomas was a villain. Like the Bachelorette chewed him out on his season and basically said, you're the worst kind of person, like blah, 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 just because he said being the Bachelor had crossed his mind. Which, God forbid, you're telling me that people on that show don't go on there thinking, oh, what if I was the Bachelor? Yeah. You all are thinking it. So the fact that people got mad at him, I was like, y'all, whatever. It's so dumb. That was just absurd. It was so stupid in the first place. But so he came off of that being a villain going to Bachelor in Paradise. So he already had a bad reputation. He kind of got in some drama with some of the girls because a lot of girls were kind of all over him, actually. I think because he's very tall and attractive and got a great bod. But then Becca came in. And kind of from the moment she came in, they were kind of talking. And then once they were like sealed into each other, they were like sealed in. But then she left because she's like, it's too good to be true and I can't deal with this. So they left the beach broken up because she was just like, I've done the too good to be true thing and it's bitten me in the ass. And so I'm not going to deal with that. And I think psyched herself out of it. Post Bachelor in Paradise, they fell in love and have been dating for 7 months, and then they just got engaged. So,
oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's actually a really cute love story.
That's amazing. That's amazing. She deserves it because she got effed up by whatever his name is,
Ari. Oof.
I remember watching that footage and just being like, how? First of all, how dare he do this to her? Second of all, how dare ABC freaking film that?
Film it. I know.
It was despicable. I was like, this should not be on national television.
No, it shouldn't. It was truly horrible.
Yeah.
But now Ari is so happy with the guy he left Becca for. They have 3 kids. Like, they're married. Like, everything.
I don't know who he's with.
Lauren Burnham, who was his runner-up that he sent home on his season for Becca, and then he went back to her. And now they're perfectly happy. So although I don't agree with the way he did it or them filming it, it worked out the way it was meant to because clearly he was meant to be with Lauren.
Yeah. Wait, so why did he send Lauren home then? That's weird. Did he just psych himself out?
Probably.
They make a very cute couple.
Yeah. I know. But that's all the pop culture stuff I have. So if we want to dive right in, do you want to tell them what we're talking about today, just as a reminder?
Yes. Today, Theoni and I will be talking about the first episode of the newest TV show on HBO Max called The Time Traveler's Wife, which is also a book, which is also a movie. So HBO Max made it a TV show starring Theo James and Leslie Rose.
I love Theo James. I'm just putting that out there right away. I'm going to try to contain myself. He is so attractive. And I'm sorry, him and his short hair, I love it. I love it. I think he's beautiful. I just love him. And he's a little bit Greek, so.
Wait, short hair as in like just like a short hair or like the shoulder length hair that he has?
No, like the short hair. I'm not a big long hair person. I don't love long hair on a guy. I just don't.
Okay, it depends on the guy though, if they can rock it. What?
Maybe.
What? Seriously?
I will say typically like comparing short hair and long hair on the same person, I almost always go for the shorter hair.
Okay, for me, it depends if they can style it, if they can rock it. Like, I'm like, yeah, you can do long hair, but it varies for me, so.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yes.
So we're going to be kind of talking about, like, what we thought of the first episode and kind of comparisons between that and the movie. Selena and I actually watched the movie Time Traveler's Wife together one time.
Yeah.
And this is one of the only movies we didn't talk a lot during. No. But I do remember at the end of the movie, we turned to each other and we both had like tears streaming down our face. And we were just, because the story is so sad.
Yeah. It is so sad, but it's so good. And I remember too that night, I think we were scrolling Netflix and we were trying to find a movie. And I was like, oh, we should watch The Time Traveler's Wife. You've never seen it. I've seen it before and I really love it. And I think you'll really like it too. So that is how we watched it. It was just on a whim. And we like absolutely loved it.
Yes, and because I love the movie so much, and I am such a Rachel McAdams stan, like she can do no wrong. So now seeing like the cast for the new one and just like the fact that it got turned into a TV show, I was very wary of it. Like I was very worried about it. I'll just kind of go through some of my thoughts. A lot of it is just like me reacting to different things.
Okay.
The one thing I will say, they love Theo James without any clothes on.
I know.
The amount of times I saw his butt, I was like, I mean, I don't mind necessarily, but it was a lot. I was like, we get that when he so for context, when he time travels, he loses his clothes, right? So wherever he wakes up, he is naked.
Yep.
Fine. We saw so much of him that I was like, this is getting like y'all.
But I don't mind it because he is looking fine. He is looking so fine, okay?
Yeah.
Like his abs and his muscles and his butt. Like, sir, you can be naked anytime.
My God. Yeah, no. I'm bothered thinking about it.
He's so attractive for no reason.
So attractive.
No reason at all.
So my one friend, she didn't know who he was. So I showed him a picture. I was like, oh, he's like universally attractive. I've never talked to someone who thinks he's not attractive. She was like, eh. I was like, you're telling me if that came up to you on the street, you would be like, I'm sorry. If that came up to me on the street, I would like faint on the spot.
Yeah, same. I wouldn't even know what to say.
Yeah, I was shocked when she said that. I mean, to each their own, but to me, he's like chef's kiss. The one thing I will say, and this is kind of a comparison between the movie and the book as well.
Yeah.
The narration style, right? So in the movie, they don't have this, but in the TV show, they have the clips of them almost talking about it documentary style.
Yes.
Which I thought was so interesting and a little weird.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out, which maybe we'll get more insight into that as the season goes on. But I thought that was really interesting. What did you think of that?
I was curious because, like, you know, the only kind of documentary style fiction TV shows that I've watched were comedy. So it's like The Office, Parks and Rec, and we know that The Office was doing it for like a TV show, right? And Parks and Rec never really said what they were doing it for, but it was by the same creator, so we kind of had an idea that maybe it was for a TV show.
Sure.
For this, though, because it has a more serious aspect, I wonder if I don't know, maybe they're not going to address it. Maybe it is for a like documentary or whatever. I think it's just very interesting. And you know what is even weirder too is that Claire is in her 30s and Henry is old when they're talking to the camera. That is their age, like cemented. So it makes me wonder, are they in the same timeline? Is Claire 30 years old, right? 37 or whatever she is. Is this kind of in the past and we're actually in Henry's older timeline? Like, is that the present? So I don't know. It's very interesting.
Well, and that's one thing I will say about the TV show and the movie as well.
Yeah.
The movie I feel like is a little more straightforward. You have kind of like, I mean, obviously the way he jumps around times is going to be confusing no matter how you do that. And that's part of like the intrigue of it.
Yes.
But the one thing I will say about the show, it's almost more like Inception, like the way that the two Henrys met outside of the cafe. And all of that stuff, I just thought it's so interesting. And obviously we got some interaction between young Henry and old Henry in the movie. But just the way they're doing it, and then the documentary style with the timeline question you're talking about, it makes it all just like, what timeline are we in? Whose perspective is this? Like, what is going on? But yeah.
It just made things a lot of, like, really confusing because I was like, okay, I'm following 20-year-old Claire. Just kidding. Like, it's actually 30 whatever years old Claire that we're following. Or, oh yeah, like Henry is 30 whatever. But actually, no, we're now in 27-year-old Henry. And I was like, this is so much back and forth and so much jumping that it's like really hard to like keep track of everything. And it's not 100%. Like it's not a linear story, right? Because the movie was more linear, which I'm okay with because it's a TV show, right? So we're going to get so many episodes and they're all about like an hour-ish long. So it makes sense that they're able to do this in a way, but it's still a little confusing.
But the one thing I will say too, I actually like that the TV show differs from the movie in that way because I think if they made it linear, like you were saying, like the movie, I don't know if I would be as intrigued to keep watching, especially knowing how much I like the movie. But because they made it more confusing or more ominous, I don't know if that's what I'm trying to say, but I definitely want to keep watching the show now because of that.
Oh, same. I listeners, I literally texted Theoni. I was like, I have to buy an HBO Max subscription now because I need to finish the series. The first episode is online for free, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to finish the series now.
See, I am #blessed because my roommate Kira, she has an HBO Max subscription, so I've been able to watch it on our TV with that.
Iconic.
So don't have to pay for that. What up? But yeah, I'm definitely going to keep watching because I'm very intrigued. What are some of your thoughts just going through?
Yeah, so I actually have a question for you. So 2 episodes back, we had talked about actors playing their younger self. But how do you feel about actors playing their older self? Because Theo James plays an older version of Henry.
I like it a lot.
Okay.
I think it's much easier, to play up your age than it is to play down your age. And so one thing I was going to say too, comparing the movie and the TV show, in the movie, I feel like Eric Bana, who plays Henry, he almost looks the same in his 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever. Like, there's not a lot of differentiation. In the TV show, in his 20s, Henry has the long hair. In his 30s, he has the short hair. And as he gets older, he has more gray and more wrinkles and stuff like that. And I actually think the way they aged him was very, very realistic and made a lot of sense. So I like that they used the same actor actually. And I feel like if they had changed actors for older Henry in the TV show, it might have pulled me out of it a little bit. So I liked how they made the hair a very easy differentiation, even for us viewing it, so we can always kind of know where they're at in the timeline.
That's what I was just gonna say. It's so much easier to like define what timeline or what age we're at, because like I automatically know if he has long hair, oh, we're 27. If he has shorter hair, oh, middle age, about late 30s. And then if he has like old, like gray hair and he kind of has like wrinkles or whatever, we obviously know he's like a lot older. So I think that's in a way for me to keep track of like what timeline we're at, because again, it's like so confusing and we're jumping through so many different timelines.
100%. And they even did the same thing with Claire. Like Claire has the longer hair, and then in the documentary style, when she's in her 30s, she has shorter hair.
Yeah,
so
it's nice.
I think I like that they do that for us.
I will say, as much as I love Leslie Rose, like I love her so much, I am so biased towards Rachel McAdams playing Claire.
Literally have a note about that, Selena. I feel the same way. What else has Leslie Rose been in? Because her face looks so familiar to me.
So she was in Game of Thrones, like peak Game of Thrones.
Oh, I never watched it.
Yeah. So oh my God, wait. Okay, I have to sidetrack because you haven't watched Game of Thrones. So, you know Kit Harington, he was in the Eternals. And so he played Jon Snow. And Jon Snow falls in love with this girl named Ygritte or whatever her name is, played by Leslie Rose. They met on the set. And then they got married.
They're married in real life?
And they have a kid. Oh. Right? Oh. And their characters on Game of Thrones fall in love. And then they fell in love in real life.
That's the love story we all need and deserve.
Right?
That's like, so cute.
They are absolutely adorable together. I love them so much. So I'm, again, like as much as I love Leslie Rose, right? Like I know she is so fantastic. I can't get rid of like Rachel McAdams' portrayal of Claire. Like it's just stuck with me.
Well, and I also think that says a lot. I mean, Rachel McAdams to me is like one of like my favorite actresses. Like I've loved her in literally everything she's done, and whatever character she plays, I'm very attached to them, right? Yeah. And so I think number one, Leslie already goes in there having big shoes to fill with that. I will say that I like that she plays the character differently, so at least we have that differentiation. But I will say I don't love the way she plays Claire so much. I don't love her in that role. But I think part of it, too, is I don't sense the chemistry with her and Theo James yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give him a chance, but...
Okay. Part of me, I guess, like, I can see the chemistry a little bit, and I think it'll definitely grow. I think it's there, but I didn't think that it wasn't there when I watched the first episode. So that's interesting.
And then comparing it with Rachel McAdams could have chemistry with a wall. Yeah. Like that's how good of an actress she is. And like it's just hard not to compare them. But again, I do like her so far. So I'm trying to like keep an open mind to how it's going to develop over the series.
I will say, I think in the TV show, we do get a different Claire. I think that is based on the writing, based on what the story they're going to tell over how many episodes that they have. So part of me thinks that the movie Claire is very different than the TV Claire. I think the TV Claire is very like blunt, and she knows what she wants, and she kind of goes wherever her mind goes, right? So she's a creative painter type of person. So I feel like when she knows what she wants, like she goes for it.
Yeah, and the way Rachel McAdams played it, I think, was just a little more, like, soft.
Yes.
I don't know how else to describe it.
No, you're right, yeah. Can we talk about the grooming aspect that has been, like, swirling around this TV show? Have you heard about that?
No.
So, before the premiere, or maybe when the first episode did premiere, there was this huge conversation about grooming and how Henry basically groomed Claire into falling in love with him. And one, I think for the movie, if we start with the movie, I think they glossed over it, right? So I think if I remember correctly, Rachel McAdams' character remembered Eric's character, but then they like kissed and whatever, and then we fast forward and then they were married. So we didn't really touch on it in the movie.
Sure.
But this first episode really definitely goes into the fact that they knew each other so long ago. So a part of me kind of felt a little uncomfortable, especially when we saw younger Claire, and the fact that 20-year-old Claire still had the notebook of all of the dates he came to visit. So I was like a little like uncomfy there, but I think it's, as I kept thinking about it and as the episode kept going on, I was like, okay, we know that there are multiple kind of timelines that we're jumping to. I think in a way, this situation is like the chicken and the egg, like which came first.
I was actually just thinking that as you were talking, because if it were a different story, I would feel gross about it.
Yes.
But because of the nature of the way he time travels, to me, it's not really grooming because he's already married to her.
See,
right?
That's my problem.
And I know you can go back and forth with like, okay, well, did they only get married because he went to talk to her, or were they married so then that's why he went to see her?
Yes.
That's part of the mind game you play.
Exactly.
Right?
That's why I think it's the chicken and egg situation of what came first, because 30-year-old Henry goes back to visit 12-year-old Claire, or however old she is. By the time that he visits young Claire, he's already married to like 28-year-old Claire. So it's like, okay, well, maybe he did just want to just go visit young Claire. Or did he visit young Claire first? But then the 30-year-old Henry would have already been married. See, it's just like...
But also, here's the thing. He can't control where he goes.
Exactly.
So I think it's part of just like what's woven into the story is that he's going to go there whether he wants to or not. And I think because of the way they write it, he's very, very gentle with Claire, and just like, not that it's okay for older men to talk, like, but like, it doesn't bother me in this context.
Okay.
So I get the discourse around it, but it does not bother me in this context because that's not what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
But okay, no, good to know your thoughts on that, because I know that was really like a big kind of discourse happening as the first episode released, but again, I was a little uncomfy with it at first, but then at the end of the episode, I was like, okay, never mind. It's fine.
Sure. And I like, at least, like you said, with the TV show, at least they addressed how weird that was for Claire. Yeah. Like, at least they had some conversation about it rather than just glossing. Not that they had a conversation about it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. I think going back to, like, the idea that we are jumping from so many different timelines. Also the fact too that like that in a way there are multiple Henrys kind of living, you know? Because like 27-year-old Henry visited 6-year-old Henry. 37-year-old or 38-year-old Henry visited 27-year-old Henry. So it's so weird. And they can interact too, which I thought was really weird.
It's so weird.
So apart with like that too, I thought it was just kind of weird that like when 38-year-old Henry was like, yep, I'm gonna go, I gotta get back to my wife, and like 20-year-old Claire at the bar is like across from her, she's like, damn, I'm jealous, like why does she get you and I have to get him, and points to the 27-year-old Henry.
It's the same person.
Yes. So it's just so weird. It's so weird.
So
like,
weird.
I'm trying to like organize
when you say it out loud like that, I'm just like, like it makes sense watching it, but it also makes no sense.
Yes.
It's so weird.
That's why it's like, okay, well, in a sense, then do multiple Claires exist? Not that she can time travel, but like in different timelines, because like 38-year-old Henry has to go back to his Claire. Like, I don't know. See, it's so weird.
They
like,
should do a crossover with this and Doctor Strange. Maybe they're in one of the multiverses.
Yeah, really.
Okay, this is kind of random to the conversation, but it made me think about it, talking about like, are there multiple Claires and like how the time travel works. In the movie, the time travel is triggered by the trauma with his mom dying in the car and stuff like that. In the TV show, his time traveling was first happened just because he was really, really happy and joyful about the museum and going to the museum. So that already, I feel like, sets up the way that it progresses differently because where it stems from, completely different places. Like something stemming from like anger and sadness and grief versus something stemming from like joy and like happiness, totally different.
Yes. You know, that reminded me of as well. You know what's weird in the TV show is that Claire was telling 27-year-old Henry that 38-year-old Henry was telling her as a kid that there was this older man telling him the rules of time travel, and that, you know, 27-year-old Henry still doesn't really know the rules. So I was like, wait, who is this older guy? Because I don't remember any. I know, exactly. I don't remember any other mentor in the movie. And then I realized with 27-year-old Henry and 6-year-old Henry, I was like, oh my God, it's him. It's him. What's happening?
I had the same thought. I was like, I'm so stupid. I'm like, who is this older person? Like, it's
literally him.
Henry.
It's him.
Yeah. Which I think, again, what?
Yeah. It's so weird. So weird.
Something I thought was interesting in the TV show that I wonder if it was in the book. Yeah. But Henry gets like very sick when he time travels in the TV show. That didn't happen in the movie. So I wonder why that is, that they added that in.
I think they just needed some sort of indication that he would disappear soon. So it would be clear to the viewers, like to us, that he was going to time travel. Because I don't think in the movie there was anything, right?
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Not that I can remember, at least.
Okay. The apartment. 27-year-old Henry needs to get his life together. He is so messy.
It was so gross. And then the way he shoved all of that stuff. I was glad Claire was pissed at him for having a girlfriend.
Me too.
Why did you sleep with her when... you have a girlfriend? I don't care if you're jumping around. You knew what you were doing. That made me pissed off. So good for Claire for getting pissed off.
For calling him out on it.
But the fact that he hid all of the stuff and like was speed cleaning, that made me laugh. It did make me laugh, but I was also pissed at him. But yeah, you're 27. Get your life together, boy.
Yeah, please.
That's nasty.
I will say, when he was like cleaning and like doing all that stuff and it was like very frantic, and then he went to the bathroom and like all of the blood was everywhere, I thought he had killed someone.
So did I. But I was like, no, that's definitely his blood when he dies.
Yes.
I think, at least, because in the movie, I remember we got those little like quick flashes of when he had been shot, and you know.
Yeah. So I thought he had killed someone, but I was like, but then it was like he turned to clean it and then he came back and it was gone. And I was like, uh-oh, that's something from the future. Because like we also get background that little pieces of him can still time travel, which we see with his like little baby tooth and whatever. And the same thing with the blood. So I was like, ooh, something is going to happen.
100%.
What did you think about the whole museum scene with 27-year-old Henry and 6-year-old Henry?
I thought it was sweet.
Okay.
Like, I liked it. Like, I think Henry has a very matter-of-fact way of saying things. And, but I think the reason he says that, for any normal kid, they'd be like, what the heck are you talking about? But because it's like himself, I think he knows how to talk to himself. But I thought it was sweet. I don't really have a lot of thoughts about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought it was just different from the movie. Like, I was just
very different.
I didn't expect to get this scene, to get this background, to get this context. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
I think it just opens the door more to like what is like Henry telling his other selves? Like what information is he passing along?
100%, because I think in the movie there was like a sense of urgency going to like the place of the trauma, like trying to tell him as quick as he could or whatever. In this, it was almost more of like a relaxed like friendship vibe. So I didn't feel as urgent or like stressed about it as I did in the movie. So I think that's why I'm more like indifferent about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So random, but I love their house.
What house?
Like 38-year-old Henry and like 28-year-old Claire, like their house when he finally time travels back to their like present house. Love their house.
Nice. It's beautiful. Right? What are they doing to make that kind of money? Sheesh. It is a very nice home.
Right? I have no clue. But again, too, it's funny because I literally just said, oh, the present Henry or whatever. It's like, well, we don't even know what timeline is present because I think the documentary, we don't even know if like them talking to the camera and doing the documentary or whatever is present either because
I'm saying too, they might be recording it at 2 different times as well.
Exactly. See, I know. So it's whatever.
But yes, their house is very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I live there. Sheesh.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Sorry. Another really, really cute thing.
Yes.
Is that when, like, 12-year-old Claire threw her shoe at him in the bush and he got like a little bruise, and we get to 20-year-old Claire and she says she's not sorry, but then we get to 28-year-old Claire and she's like, oh, I'm sorry about throwing the shoe at you, and I was like, stop. Aww. This is adorable.
Yeah, it's the one thing I will say, most of my notes, which is why I feel like I don't have any bigger things, because I just took notes as I watched. Yeah. And a lot of it is just my reactions to like their banter and the way they talk to each other. Like, I do love that in the TV show, we get such a like playful relationship between them, I feel like. And I love that scene. And how they piece together the timelines with those little moments, I think is really, really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was so adorable. I loved it.
Gosh. And I love that the older Henry was telling 20-year-old Claire, like, give him a chance, like, no, it's not fair, kind of like, I mean, I know you brought this up earlier, but then and then he's standing outside, and then, oh my gosh, when young or 28-year-old Henry flicked off 37-year-old Henry or whatever, I died. I thought that was so funny.
Well, then older Henry was like, you should get a haircut.
Yeah, literally. But that's what I mean. It's like the older versions of Henry, which again, going back to the whole like grooming conversation, even with himself, he has almost like the father figure type of like relationship. So I almost feel like that's what he had, well, which is equally as creepy with Claire.
Your train of thought just getting creepier and creepier.
No, it is. The more I think about it, the worse it is. So I just try not to think about it.
It's like just I don't know. I feel like we're in a circle and it's a cycle, and you can start at any point in the circle, but it won't get any better because there's so many different points to the circle where you can start, and that's what makes it so confusing.
Yep. Literally. Basically, the last thing that I want to touch on, which was very, very weird, was the frozen feet made of stone stuck there on the ground at the end. That didn't make sense to me.
So I don't think it was made out of stone. I think
it was just frozen feet.
Yeah, because he died
in that spot.
No, remember? So parts of him can travel.
So you think just his feet traveled?
Yes, something happened.
Ew.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was saying.
I didn't even think about it that way.
That's what I was saying. Like we saw his teeth, right? And then we saw his blood, and then now we saw his frozen feet or whatever.
You're right. I didn't even think about the two. Oh, yeah. You're so right, Selena.
So I think something in the future must have popped into 27-year-old Henry's life that reminded him that like his time is coming, but we don't know what happens, because the fact that his feet only time traveled gives me the creeps, because something must have happened where he had to cut his feet off. Like, how literally,
because there's no way that would disconnect. A tooth makes sense. A tooth can fall out.
Yes.
Blood can bleed out, whatever.
Yes.
Feet don't just become not a part of your body. You know what I mean? Like, that's not so weird.
Exactly.
Ugh. I didn't even think about it that way.
I know.
You're much more clever than I am. But that is so weird. So again, which I love the way they set up the TV show, because now I want to keep watching to figure it out.
I know. And I'm intrigued to see, because we both haven't read the book. We've only seen the movie, and we've seen the first episode of the TV show. I'm intrigued if it'll be similar to the movie, of like what happens and how he dies in the movie. But also, I don't know how he actually dies in the book. So I'm intrigued if they're gonna follow the book or they're gonna follow the movie or they're just gonna do something different.
I have a feeling, since I don't know what happens in the book, I don't think it's gonna be the same as the movie. Like, I don't think that Henry is going to get shot in the TV show.
Yeah.
I think it'll be something different. And I don't know what that is, but I'm predicting it'll be something different than the movie.
I can see that, though, because they definitely want to change it. And it's a TV show, so they have more time to expand.
And they're making it more mysterious again, which I actually really like. Because I feel like if they tried to copy the movie, I would be like, but this just isn't the movie, so I don't like it. But because they're making it different, I don't mind it. Yeah.
Same here, yeah.
But overall, I just want to hear, like, your thoughts of, like, the TV show and, like, how the actors did and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I thought it was solid. I was a little nervous because, again, remakes are always a hit or miss for me. Like, they have to, I don't know, they just have to, like, hit in a way that, like, it's nostalgic, but new and fresh in a way. And again, love Theo James, love Leslie Rose. I think they did a phenomenal job. The fact that it's a TV show makes me excited because they have more time to expand. So I think that's why I'm feeling like really hopeful of like what this TV show will become.
I feel the same way. I feel very hopeful. I feel very intrigued. I thought the first episode was very well done. And I will say that I had very like low expectations going into it. I think we even said this on the podcast at one point or another. I was just like, it's not going to be the same as the movie. It's not going to be as good. Like, why are they remaking yet another thing? But I think because they took a different take on it, and because it's a TV show and they can expand more, I can get behind it. So I'm actually very excited to keep watching. Alrighty, Selena, do you want to introduce our next episode to our listeners?
Yes. So next week, Theoni and I will be discussing the book It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey, which is actually kind of perfect because like summer is like literally here. So I feel like seasonality wise, it's a good time. Totally. And I know it's been out and very popular on Book Talk for a while, but it's so good and I'm very excited to talk about it. I've actually read quite a few Tessa Bailey books now and I really like the way she writes. Very different from Emily Henry, but of course we'll talk about that, but I'm very excited. I didn't realize she had so many books out.
She has so many books.
It's so many. I was like, damn, girly. Like,
and I really like them. Like, they're just very good books. So I'm very excited to talk about that. Yeah. And I hope you guys are excited to listen. Most likely our book episodes always turn into two-parters because we just have too much to say. And books are just too good. But yes, I am very excited to review It Happened One Summer. I hope you guys are excited to listen. So we will see you next week.
Bye.